Hi, I'm Chris Knowles, and I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about where we came from, and a few other questions. Mostly because where we came from covers so much. Of course, we're not talking about where we came from the front door. We're not talking about where we came from our mothers. We're not talking about where we came from a long line of civilizations. Inside of each person, we know the scope of the question, not because it's been communicated to us by the questioner, but because we ourselves know that we want to know where we came from, even though we can't express it ourselves. Even though we can't express it to other people, we all have a desire to know where we came from. Now, to answer this question, we have to first address who we are, because where we came from implies a group. And a lot of people have been able to answer this question without really answering the question that they were feeling. They were first answering the question that was asked. We can say that we came from microorganisms that survived. We can say that an asteroid carried life to the planet. We could say that we're all in a computer simulation and that we've been alive the whole time, and that's where we came from. But that doesn't matter. What matters is who we are, what sets us apart. Where we came from is what we left behind. Where we're going is what we yet to have. So who are we? What do we have? What do we not have? What did we leave behind? My answer to who we are is the box that I'm about to show you. The box is kind of crazy, and that's because we're all a little bit crazy. In each of us, there are things we know, there are things that we believe that are distinct from the things we know. There are things that we remember. There's the way that we perceive them. There's the feelings that we have. There's the language that we use to express those feelings, those memories, that perception, those things we know, and those beliefs we have. And then there is a seventh something in the center of the box. Feeling is the counterpart to language. Feeling is what we assign to everything that we can't really explain. I feel a certain way because I cannot communicate to you the facts about it. It doesn't exist in a language that we can express to other people. In this way, we communicate with art or with music. It makes you feel a certain way because that communication really did get a message across. But we cannot think in feelings because they're not as malleable as facts, opinions. They're not malleable at all. They are feelings. They are pain, happiness, anger. And while we have words for them, they never adequately describe what we are truly feeling. It's impossible, I say, to thoroughly explain your feelings to someone else. And that's what makes them special. That's why they get their own wall. Because they're beyond what can be expressed, and they always will be. Because there's always going to be room where language fails. Because language is not good at its job in any stretch of the imagination. Now, it's these 6 walls to a cube that make us, in my opinion, who we are. It's the true self from within it that shines a light and creates shadows against these languages, the way I speak, the way you speak, against these feelings that guide our actions sometimes. It's the way we come out in our own memories, or the way we perceive things. It's what we know and it's what we believe that make us who we are. So where does that leave us and where we came from? well, it's that true self, I think. In my personal belief and the things that I know, and the only way I can explain it to you through language is how I feel. Is this tricky yet? It gets trickier because I remember things that you don't, and I perceive them in a way that you didn't. That's why, where we came from, we can't really get wrong, I think. That's why I can firmly say that we were created by a God, and that God gave us a spirit that exists within the box, that is distinct from all the things that ever come into it, that is distinct from everything else on earth. It separates us from the animals and the plants. It separates us from each other sometimes. But it can also bring us together in the ways that the shadows intermingle. You see, Plato said it this way: we are inside a cave looking at shadows of things in the real world on a wall. But I think this model is too simple. While that may be true, we also see each other and the projections that we give to each other. We shine our light through our language, through our expressions. We record others' lights in our memories and perceptions. We know certain shadows and we believe in certain shadows, and this all comes together to create where we are. I have no idea where we're going, but that's where we came from, and that's where we are. And I hope that you enjoyed that.